Okay, greetings. This is Dr. Snake in the house, and you're listening to the Voodoo On Crack podcast. And with me is my sidekick, co-author, Dark Angel. And you can find us at drsnake.com. That's DOKTORSNAKE.com. Thing to remember is K, not a C, drsnake.com. Okay, so what I've been thinking about today is voodoo death. Can you die? Can your mind basically kill you? Or voodoo. And so in 1967 there was a case in Florida, in a swamp area of Florida, and there was a hospital. So there was 3 girls born on Friday the 13th, 1967. And the midwife, so these girls born all healthy and fine, and she proceeds to tell the parents, your baby girls have been hexed. First one will die at 16. The second one will die when she is 21. The third when she is 23. So the midwife tells the parents this. I'm sure, I don't mean to say that she hexed them. It was just that it's Friday the 13th. It's almost a default hex. And so, this must have been part of the family story, one presumes, probably laughed about it. But these girls, so first one, when she gets to 16, she dies. I can't actually remember what she died of, but she died. And second one, she gets to 21, and of course they know each other and know of it, and so she's just approaching 21, and she thinks, I've escaped it, I've escaped doom, I'm 21. So she goes out to celebrate, with presumably her friends in a bar. And the next thing you know, there was a bit of a extreme kerfuffle, and bang, gun goes off, and the rogue bullet kills her. So there we are. She's lost it. So when you think about that story, I mean, I suppose you're going to think, oh my God, that was for real. Friday the 13th, and but get to the one who was 23. I forgot the one who was 23. So with her, she was seriously worrying about it. And then about a month before, her 23rd birthday, she gets ill. And so she goes to a doctor, and it's like, she got all sorts of feelings like anxiety, all sorts of stuff going on, almost panic attacks, couldn't breathe properly. And the, doctor was like, not sure what this is. But then she tells him about this alleged hex when she was a baby, and how the other 2 had died. And so that started to get into the annals of psychology. But this doctor, it went on, and then lo and behold, she's dead. She died. So you could be thinking, oh my God, this stuff is for real, because it's a hard one to explain, isn't it? Each successive death. And the bar one, I mean, come on, most people would put 2 and 2 together, 3 and 3 together, and off we go, So what do you think, Dark Angel? There's more to this story. I will add a great deal more, but I'm not going to get to that. I'm going to just roll this conversation slowly along. So now hopefully, well, not hopefully, but probably you'll all be freaked out by this one. So I'm going to hand it over to Dark Angel to continue.
What do I think? Well, it is weird. It's weird facts, but it's the psychology of, it is straight up the psychology of the midwife killed the kids. Okay.
I'd say she's a murderer.
I think she's a murderer. I'm sorry. Because what she done was she literally subconsciously implanted in the minds of the parents and the children, and it was told to the children. And guess what's going to happen from there? From there, you're going to start looking for this to happen. Everything's gonna, oh my God, I'm getting close to that age. It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah,
and subconsciously you wind up killing yourself. Really. I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, leeches, what I think was the name of the doctor.
I think his name was John Leach. John Leach,
Yes,
British
Leach.
Sort of psychology. A survival psychologist, and what that means. People don't know what a survival psychologist is. It's someone who looks into people who end up in extreme situations like shipwrecks, plane crashes, far away from anywhere, and it looks like you're doomed. And it's like, we're not going to get out of this one, are we? No one's going to find us. We're doomed. And then you might have someone else who says, no, we're going to get out of this. I don't care what it takes. We're going to do it. So that's what a survival psychologist does. Looks into how people, all concentration camps, Nazi Germany, that kind of thing. How people get through. So that's John Leach, and I'll let you carry on. John Leach, survival psychologist.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just really it's what you do to your mind. Whether the glass is half full, half empty. We were discussing earlier about the dopamine, in your brain, and whether or not how depression could cause you, which is the opposite of dopamine.
Serotonin, depression is serotonin.
Yeah.
Serotonin drop. Dopamine.
In other words, your mind can either heal you or kill you.
Well, essentially, yeah. And so what John Leach found was that it took him 20 years. It took him a hell of a long time. He more or less thought, can't answer this one. But what he found was that, including that hospital case of the 3 girls, sadly, most tragically dying when I would contend they didn't need to. But what John Leach found over many, many years was that in hopeless circumstances, for certain amount of people, the dopamine drops and you lose hope, and it gets worse and worse. Depressed people, it's serotonin. With depressed people, it's the here and now. Serotonin drops, you feel really glum. With dopamine drop, then it is the future, no hope for the future. And so you can see with these girls and their families, this whole narrative of, they might even laughed about it kind of, but it went in their subconscious, and, like gonna die at 16, gonna die at 21 and 23. And, so essentially their subconscious had run into that there was no hope for the future. So as it neared those times, the dopamine dropped, apart from, I guess, the girl who went out to celebrate that she'd made it, and then got hit by a rogue bullet in a bar fight. Which people could sort of put some meaning into, but it may be better to just say it was a random event. And it set it
the
off.
The midwife killed them.
Oh yes, I absolutely agree. Obviously technically she killed them. It couldn't hold in a court of law. You'd be lucky to get manslaughter, I think, on that, but you could, it wouldn't be a bad thing if they tried. But if you did, I don't know, it'd be very tricky in law. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're okay. It's almost no different than what I did to a coworker.
I remember.
But I didn't kill my coworker, though.
So you say.
Okay.
How'd you know?
I didn't. She's still alive. I swear to God, she's still alive.
Yeah, she is. I'm only joking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand her. Okay. I couldn't stand working with her.
No.
I mean, what I did is, because I didn't want to work with her, when she'd come in, I would be like, I don't care. I'll just say it. I don't care if she ever sees me on here saying it. She'll know I done it. I would say, Joanna K. Yep, I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
I would say, you don't look good today. You really do not look good today. And you feeling okay? And after a while, she would start to not feel good.
Yeah, you planted
Before
the
you know
suggestion.
it, before you know it, she was going home, and I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. It's just planting, and that's what that woman done. You know, your brain can heal you, or it could kill you.
Yeah, the midwife basically planted a death program in those girls, which you could call a curse. I think, I think it's a fair word, because if you, I've said this before, if you trace back the meaning of the word curse, the Celtic druids were sort of upper class echelon, lawyers, priests, and the priests did kind of magic occult stuff. But basically, in Celtic society, when it was pagan, the cursing was actually also called satire. So words, they knew the power of the word, and satire was kind of seen as kind of criminal, because you literally, that death program the midwife did, I think in Celtic times she'd have been in really hot water for, I think their laws. Well,
no, she would have been burned at the stake as a witch.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, or she'd probably have. Well, they tended to sacrifice people. Put her in a wicker man, a big wicker structure of a man.
Oh, yeah, to chop the head off.
Set it on fire. No, set it on fire, don't you?
Oh yeah, the wicker man. That's right.
Wicker man.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
about. Which apparently
set it on fire. Yeah.
Scholars are in debate as to whether that was true or not, but they definitely sacrificed people. So I think she'd have been in for it.
Wicker man.
Yeah, it's the most fun one, really. Wicker men are good.
yeah, I know. You can put a lot of people in a wicker man.
Oh yeah, well the old etchings,
they're tall. They put a lot of people in there, yeah.
60 foot or more, yeah. And so the etchings in
they put a lot of people in there.
Old books are great pictures of a wicker man with people screaming and then set on fire. Yeah, I mean, there's something about that looks kind of fun, but
it does. I know we were born in the wrong era.
Yeah, it does. It's somebody put a match to that, would you? Yes, so I'm a bit bored here, so just put a match to it. They wouldn't have had matches, would they? Just put a torch to it. Yes, if someone would.
It would have been a torch. It would have been a torch.
If someone doesn't mind, because I'm getting a bit sick, it's a bit nippy here. I'd set that on fire. I'll warm up a bit.
Yeah.
That would have been me as an arch druid.
But I mean, it's just like that one time that I got really sick.
Oh yes, yeah, I know. I was really worried. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get this letter, and it's like, oh, you need to come to the Cancer Institute.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the curse.
And so after that, it was the curse. Because after that, what happened to me? I got sicker, and mentally, it did it to myself. So a lot of people, it's very, it's. What was it, Martin? Your friend Martin said, well, that might be what I've done to myself before. It could be what is it?
That's right.
Placebo effect.
Yeah, psychosomatic.
Psychosomatic.
It would be nocebo. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's both. Yeah. It's nocebo and psychosomatic. Same sort of thing. Yeah. And absolutely. Yeah, and it was Martin who basically came up.
Yeah, Martin.
With the cure.
Thank God for Martin.
He dispersed, or whatever you might say, the curse, didn't he? Removed it.
And I was like, oh my God, I think I am doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And going back to Dr. John Leach, the psychologist, who's come up with the dopamine effect and whatnot with hope, but also similar research in the more palliative care type things. They show that in a sense, yeah, sure, if someone's got a terminal illness, then they've obviously got it. But the words are often what kills faster. So cancer, and people give up hope, dopamine drops, and they're dead. And and it could even be that if they, I mean, it's very hard to do, but if they could have kept very buoyant, kept the dopamine levels up, you never know. I mean, they might even have had a placebo effect that actually, got them into remission. Who honestly knows? But it certainly often kills people quicker. So with medicine, it's supposed to cure, but it has a lot of words that kill. And that, I bet you in the future, that will be recognized, that, there'll be some way of doing medicine that takes all this into account. But so curses work on many levels, death programs. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, I prefer the word death program, really. It's because program, I suppose it's more of a technology word, but I sort of see it like that. Yeah. And you could have a success program, so, it's how you program, really, your subconscious mind.
Honestly, let's go to COVID.
Oh, yeah. Mega curse. Yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Now, I did notice, that there was this page on Facebook.
Yeah.
All these people freaking out. Ago. I've got this, I've got that, since I've had COVID.
Well, they're shaking, weren't they, and things, and in all sorts of states of, you think, oh my God, they're literally shaking in the head and everything. And, they're having obvious symptoms, physiological symptoms.
But, hold up. They did the same thing I done. There was one type 1 diabetic on there. Okay. All right. That this is when I woke up from it all. And I'm like, okay. This girl has literally psyched herself up. Of course, your blood sugar is going to raise. Of course, you're going to have hives. Of course, you're going to have, feeling achy, your body, muscles, all this. She literally psyched herself up due to the propaganda behind the people out there pushing
the adverse reactions. Yeah, which would the people pushing them from the VAERS, American VAERS, British Yellow Card. The people jumping on that have and were the more conspiracy end, and so people did get,
which is causing a lot of these people to have these symptoms that they are literally doing to themselves.
Well, yes, and actually
the curse again.
Yeah, well,
the curse.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what you see, as I looked into it, is that with COVID, personally, I think it's been so abysmally mismanaged, beyond belief. But interestingly, it's actually a university in India and sort of in the Far East, those sort of regions where universities thought what you were saying, nocebo, psychosomatic, and they were looking into it. It's them that are looking into it. So you're talking India.
Well, I said it when I saw it.
Yeah, but some other Far East, and they're trying to look into it. And that amazes me, because I thought the people that are doing it aren't in the West. And so the West, I think, is abysmal beyond belief. I'm talking about the authorities, both medical and government. And I do think that they're so nuts and bolts orientated. And when it comes to the mind, they just don't get it. And it's India, and I can't remember, some of around that region, universities, scientists looking into nocebo and psychosomatic effect, which when you highlight COVID to it's almost astonishing degree that it's been highlighted, that you are going to get psychological effects. Whereas when the Hong Kong flu and Asian flu, you're talking 50s, late 60s, there was no internet, you couldn't lock down, so people just had to get on with it. The governments just left it to the doctors. New York Times only did 1 or 2 reports on it. Woodstock went ahead. So you had to get on with it. So you weren't going to get a massive psychosomatic nocebo effect. It wasn't going to happen. But now all the neuroses can just come out, and so I do think,
That's what they're doing.
some of
well, you got people out there that they're wanting those page hits. They want all the people coming to their page. Okay. What it's done is it's done this. It's given people a platform to talk, people a platform to bring in more viewers. See, and so you have your money. Underground. Oh, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. I'm gonna make it this. I'm gonna tell everybody that, oh, don't take the shot, don't do this, this is this. And you have your conspiracy theorists that have their own agendas and so forth. And so that's what's stirring the pot, which is causing these young kids, like the type 1 diabetic that I saw on the Facebook page, that people were saying, oh, I'm not the same sense and so forth, when all it is they've psyched themselves out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and they've caused the symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what?
Look behind the agenda that.
Well, there's money in it. Yeah, there's money in it. I mean, page views. If you set it up right, you'll get revenue. But you see, but you see that there's more to it than that, because the mismanagement of all of it, governments and medical authorities did not take into account the psychological effect, because they set it off with behavioral psychology, you see, to freak people out. So they would lock down, because if people weren't freaked out, they'd say, I'm not doing that. I'm not bothered. It's just flu.
They had to freak them out. Yeah.
Well, they didn't have to.
That's what they done to get people to stay at home.
Yeah, they did. But that was, I suppose,
stop the spread.
Well, to be fair to them, they perhaps didn't have enough evidence about it, and were worried it could have been cataclysmic, perhaps.
That's right.
But the thing about it is, the authorities and governments, medical authorities, they've really got no conception that behavioral psychology is fine for them, because it's very nuts and bolts, and yes, sure, it works, but the inner side of psychology, no. So what they've done is enormous damage, and they should certainly be looking into what you said, the nocebo and
nocebo. I had you saying it now.
They should be looking into that, but because that is important. You see, there's so much that's important, and I don't think all these governments and medical people can even cope with what's happened, and mostly they're to blame. And I suppose because, they didn't really have the knowledge, they weren't really up to it. And my contention is, should have left it well alone, just like the Asian and Hong Kong flu. But then some people say to me, yeah, but then they just said, let them get on with it, let them die. Boris Johnson more or less said that in the first instance, and then he changed his mind. But it may actually have been the only process, but some people would disagree with that. But equally, though, you see, the real big problem is that with the nocebo and psychosomatic effect that you see, I'm sure some of the cases are, but then the problem is sifting out the genuine cases of adverse reactions, of which there are bound to be.
Again, see, that's the thing. Even with the adverse reactions, okay? I mean, all right, I was sent, I'm not saying who sent the video, but I was sent a video of a guy calling a funeral home. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not saying who sent it.
He got COVID, actually. I sent you that. He got COVID about 2 weeks ago.
Well, I wasn't going to bust you out, but anyway.
Yeah.
So remember the video that you sent me about the guy that called the that called the funeral home.
Yeah.
And what did the funeral home director say? That over half the people that were in there in the funeral home had gotten the shot. Let's see here. Now, this video was trying to say Okay. That the people that were in there died. Okay, of maybe shot, COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm
now,
quiet.
Okay, wait.
I'm just going.
Hold on. If 80% of the population has gotten their shot and they die of natural causes, wreck, whatever, I would say that over half the people in there would have had a shot. Duh.
Yeah, well, he's adamant on that. Yeah, I sent you that.
It is how people are out
definitely
there pushing their agenda.
Well, he was interesting though, wasn't he? It was FYI for your information. I've kept up with him.
I wasn't going to say who sent it to.
No. Well,
you chose to tell everybody who sent it.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I mean, all that is worth looking at. I mean, he's a funeral director from Milton Keynes in Britain, which is about 60 miles out of London. And he's quite adamant on this one. He'd say, "Oh yeah, babies dead from and all loads of stuff." So I think he's probably genuine, but as you say, it's the perception, how he perceives what's going on, and it's freaked him out, and he's on the warpath in a way, thinking, "I've got to do something. They're killing us," And so it's an interesting one. But you see, the problem is that these people, from that perspective, they're not. The governments have done an absolutely awful job, because I'd have known. Well, then again, I suppose that's being a bit presumptuous of me, but let's just say I would have known that what this is going to do is set off nocebo effects, going to set off psychosomatic, it's going to set off incredible craziness. And I'd have predicted, but then what you shouldn't do, and what I think the governments are absolutely stupid about, do not condemn unvaxxed people and do not condemn the conspiracists. I would have talked to them. I'd have said, come on, let's all get together. We got scientists. We're not going to argue violently. We're just going to argue the case. So, and if some of these scientists are not government scientists, they're
sorry about that.
Yeah, they're independent. So the craziness you've got, because you just divide people, and you should be talking. Alex Jones. I mean, I think Alex Jones with InfoWars, he would have a huge shock if some government person got hold of him and said, "Alex, come on, old chap, let's all get together and discuss it." David Icke, it would be actually brilliant. What's happening is they're demonizing them, and so you've got this, divisive society, different sides. That's never going to be good. And
because they all have their own agenda and their own money behind them.
Well, there's money.
They're not going to do that. There's money.
Not all.
Money.
But
they do. A lot of them do.
But the thing is, that's again,
they're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it.
No, but the complexity is, that's why there's so much complexity, because sure, Alex Jones, InfoWars, he's got to make money. David Icke, they've got iconic media. So sure, they're making money. But then there are people like Mike Yeadon, who was a scientist at Pfizer, and he thinks they're trying to kill us. He's on the conspiracy narrative, but he actually does not make money. Then you have more complexity, because then you have to ask, his name's Mike Yeadon.
The guy who read that book?
Hmm?
You're not talking about the guy who read that book.
No, Mike Yeadon was a scientist who worked for a long time for Pfizer and set his own. So he wasn't anti-vaccines by any means. Mike, he was making them, working on them, and so but he feels that it's a whole government, or World Economic Forum, massive conspiracy thing to basically wipe out vast sections of the society. But then, and he does not make money from this, you know, so there you get even more complexity, is working out what's going on. So the more you divide people, the more trouble you'll get. So you should really be bringing people together. And those that throw a fit and argue, well, you're going to have to just kick them out. But, you know, keep it a reasoned debate and see, you know, if you can actually get someone. You know, there's no openness. It's crazy. The world is going to go to pot unless you actually start bringing people together. But something did spring to my mind is, so what sprung to my mind with this little bit of debate, and springing on me how I sent you that John.
Oh no, I'm looking at your face and hold up. I don't. No. You. I know you too well. Don't. Oh my God, what are you?
Where am I going to go with this one? You know. Well, let me say, you sprung that on me about how somebody who shall remain nameless, and everyone knows that it must be me, sent you that one. It was for your information, nothing more. You know, because it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so you springing that one on me. I'm starting to think, well, perhaps I'd say, oh, shall we talk about religion?
You're right.
You know what I'm getting at, don't you? You know exactly what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. You do. Yeah, I got my comeuppance.
All I gotta say is this. All I gotta say is this. You better make it chocolate, so that you like it if you're gonna do it.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. Because
you're gonna have to eat it.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah.
No,
well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Well, I just have. Well, I got nothing to do. All I was pointing out is that, yeah, last time we, you know, were doing this, and it was actually. Well, yeah, maybe there was a mischievous element going on with me, and I got onto religion and said things like, yeah, you need to lose your faith because, you know, and then it was Satan. And I realized that Satan, namely me, is suddenly thinking, oh my God, I got a number run straight back on me. Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, people probably won't understand what we're talking about, but basically, last time we were talking, podcast video, I mischievously got into religion, which I'm, you know, generally opposed to belief and all of that, because I think not good for the world, and you know, and I think most people, I'm always saying, lose your faith, be free, and all this, and Dark Angel not so keen on me being contentious and all that, and putting her on the spot because she is from the American South, which is terribly religious. Hang on, what do they practice in American South? Islam? No, they don't, do they? It's not Islam. No, it's some form of Christianity. There's all sorts, Baptist, Pentecostals, and all sorts there. And you can probably guess why I mention Islam. Most people probably get that. So I sprang that on Dark Angel because she's from there. She did not want to have to. She had to be very diplomatic. PR job, and just now I've had the tables turned on me because yes, I sent a few videos like that only for your information. I will, you know, add.
I didn't mention you. I said someone.
I know, but you know,
you're the one that let the cat out of the bag.
Well, you know, because because I'm quite happy, you know, transparency and all that. I thought, no, we will come clean with it. But the tables anyway have been turned on me in these conversations. So on that note, I will say, emails, have we had any well, I'm not going to forget, but yeah, no, you just wait. But basically, so what have we had in the inbox that may be worthy of discussion or whatever?
Well, we did get there's this young woman from California,
right?
Okay. She wants to know that about her, whether or not she is manifesting her ex's boyfriend's ex.
Yeah,
her
right.
boyfriend's ex.
Yeah.
She wants to know if she's manifesting her into their relationship, because she is constantly like, you know, researching her on social media, you know, pretty much stalking her online and so forth. So she wants to know, by doing that, is she manifesting them, that ex, into their relationship? I know what I want to say.
By thinking all the time and visualizing.
Can I?
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Actually, the truth of it is if you're doing all that and you're researching this girl and you're spending your time and wasting your time on your boyfriend's ex, yeah, you've already manifested it, honey, in your own mind.
Yeah,
and it's already in your relationship.
Yeah, that's right. The representation of, but it's kind of fantasy version.
She's in your head.
Yeah,
she's in her head.
Yeah, exactly. She's there.
But she's in her head. She's there. She's in the relationship.
Absolutely. That's right. For all intents and purposes, the reality is yes, absolutely. You have manifested it. Yeah, that's right.
Stop it. Stop looking for. Stop obsessing.
Well,
you know, and then you won't. You've already manifested her in your subconscious.
That's right. Well, you know, how to not do that is because the pictures are big, bright, you know, even if there's a certain darkness, but it's a bright darkness, you know, and so, you know, basically the only way to do it is to resist researching online and all that and just bring her to mind.
Stop looking for her.
Yeah, bring her to mind, shrink the picture, make the colors dimmer, keep shrinking it, make it black and white, so it's black and white. If you can hear a voice, if you've actually ever spoken to her, make the voice silly, like Mickey Mouse or something, Daffy Duck, shrinking, you know, to the size of football, down to a golf ball, and then physiologically, your body will feel you know, will feel relaxed, and then throw that tiny golf ball image into the sky, into space, and into the sun, and that works neurologically. You know, basically it does. You might have to do it for like a couple of weeks, you know, to get a new habit. You're rewiring the brain. It's called neuroplasticity, and it works.
That's true.
Yeah,
but you know what? If that's his ex, there's probably a reason why he's her ex. And if you don't stop the self-abuse and self-obsession over his ex, you're going to wind up being his ex as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, because that is the fear, you see, is it breaking up. So yeah, most definitely. You know, so it's not so much some mystical manifestation. It's actually as a result of what's going on in your mind, you know. And when you realize that, you know, you actually get a lot of freedom, because, you know, there are tools which I've just given of how to stop that. You don't talk about it. You don't go on about it. You do exactly what I said. Less talk, the better, because you only exacerbate and emphasize it, you know, and, you know, do shrinking exercise. And because it's basically, the X is a bad memory. It's partly a fantasy, but it's essentially a bad memory with fantasy elements that you're building up. So, you know, you're stopping the impact of a memory on you, and it works. You can get rid of it. So yeah, so really that's how you do it. Yeah. So what else we got? Got anything else in the inbox?
Let's see here. Oh yeah, there is a guy from New Jersey that says he needs a lot of money and he wants to win big at the casinos.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's it. Again, you know, it's manifestation, and the art is to do it the other way around, you know, not go shrinking it, but build it up in your mind, you know, do making money, you know, create pictures, create strategies and plans as how do you do it, make them big and bright. You can have sound going on, big gospel choir going, yeah, I'm going to make the money, you know, and going on. The feeling in your body, that will intensify because you're building that up in your mind. Spin it around your body, kinesthetic. Spin, it'll build up the motivation. That's number one, motivation. Number two is action. So you need to figure out logically plans that could make you money. You know, it might be just getting a job of some kind, but you know, ideally, well, ideally business. You know, setting up channels to so that's how you do that. As to the casino, I would say better off building your sort of financial base, income coming in, and then like when you've got some and start investing it. Yeah, you can do the casino as, you know, so, you know, if you want to do a hobby side, if you win, make a profit. Yeah, if it makes you a profit, do it. You know, if it's not making you a profit, don't do it. Simple as that. Yeah.
We got a crack rock.
Right. Yeah. What's that one?
Crack rock.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I read it, I think of this, like, you know, gothic kid in a basement somewhere living in his mom's house, but he wants to be a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name the kid or where he's from.
No.
But yeah. He wants to be a vampire, Doc, and he wants you to help him become a vampire.
Right. Well, yeah, what that really is you know, in someone that enjoys kind of fantasy fiction and they want it to be real. And, you know, so essentially, I would just say enjoy the fantasy. You know, you can run it in your mind, you know, make the most of it and enjoy that fantasy. You can go out, if he is a goth of some kind, then yeah, dress up that way and enjoy the drama, the theatrical nature of it, you know. So really, that's what I say. Though I would add that there are vampire people around, you know, that are kind of groups and built up a solid base. And I remember one woman who was one of the leading figures in the vampire thing. Actually, she struck me. I was quite impressed, really, because she was very polite, which I appreciated. And all she was doing was saying, can I use a couple of stories that you've written on my site? And she politely asked in the most gracious manner. And I thought, well, that's really impressive. And she was part of one of the big vampire type organizations, which I don't know what to say, really. I mean, they firmly believe they are vampires. And but because she was polite and everything, I think absolutely, you know, she wasn't trying to convert me like a lot of religions do. She was just polite, you know, and I think that's good. You know, so I think that yeah, sure, you know, some of them very strongly believe that. I think it's a, you know, great theatrical thing. You know, it's you know, the sort of art of the dramatic, really, and why not? Yeah, absolutely, why not? So there are definitely good, you know, vampire groups around, and whatever their beliefs may be is fine, you know, and they're enjoying
vampire
themselves.
Groups, are they like sort of like my friends like in 501 Legion, like Star Wars group people, you know, that go to all these things like Dragon Con?
I don't think they'd see themselves like that, no, because they consider
just
themselves
like vampire people dressed up.
I think they consider themselves to be vampires.
Yeah,
know, in their own way. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, there are those that would do that, but I think the vampire groups, and I've forgotten, I did look into them a bit, but you know, it struck me when particularly this woman, and she was one of the leaders of one, and she just had, you know, genuine dignity and, you know, polite manner. And I thought, well, that's excellent. You know?
Is this like your ex-girlfriend?
No, not
Are you telling on yourself?
No, no, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You sure do know a lot about it.
Well, I know all I've said is polite, you know.
What y'all do, like drink each other's blood or something? What I mean,
they do. Did
you drink her blood?
Look, absolutely not. You know,
look at him, he's squirming, people. That's his ex. He's talking about his ex.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not. Absolutely couldn't be further than the truth. No, you know, it's just I think when people, you know, think, well, absolutely, you know, if people can be polite and gracious, then I'm absolutely all in favour of that, an advocate of that. And so, but they do drink each other's blood and things like that. Yeah, they do. Those in what I'd call the genuine vampire group. So I think there's a few, and and they developed from grassroots, as I understand it, and grew up, and and just sort of. I mean, it's difficult to say, because you can think of the Church of Satan and Anton LaVey, and that was vastly different. It wasn't, or rather, Anton was. I mean, it's vastly different because it's Satan, and most people who don't know anything about it think, oh yeah, he's a devil worshipper. But of course, Anton LaVey was. So it's nothing, the Church of Satan in its true, or the Anton form, is, so far from it. You see, I can, appreciate that because, there's influence from Ayn Rand and her objectivism, Ragnar Redbeard for the more colourful side, Nietzsche, the philosopher. So you had a lot of objectivist philosophy going on. So that's what it really was. Satan was, or is, a dramatic sort of ascetic, really, a dark ascetic, I think. So the other kind, but there are Satanist groups that have a real Satan and all the rest of it, don't they?
Well, Anton literally made a mockery out of Christianity.
Oh, he did,
and his main thing was. Okay, so this was he was a very highly intelligent, bookish man.
Oh, absolutely.
Very highly intelligent man. Yeah. And, he did grow up in a religious, background. But Anton was so sick of people using the excuse of the devil made me do it. And, that being a crutch. So Anton decided to make a mockery out of it, and he decided to be the devil. And he went to a Halloween shop, bought a red suit with the devil horns, and he just made a mockery out of it.
And went on like Johnny Carson or whatever, didn't he? Did the talk shows at the time. And,
he did. And then it just grew from there, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's pretty much, it was a Carniac, really. And but he was truly making a lot of sense. I mean, he was truly telling people, look, you are your own God. You are your own destination. You drive your own ship. Stop using excuses for things you do. Take on ownership of it and stop using God as an excuse. That's
absolutely.
What it was.
Yeah.
Stop using the devil as an excuse.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Anton LaVey, I've got huge respect for his memory, and I see him as actually a philosopher, but an unsung philosopher.
But a lot of people didn't know that because it turned into something. It turned into something that, I mean, hell, at the time, he's like, hell, I'm getting money. I'm not going to say this word, but he was getting a lot of women, and, things were, going really great for him back in the, in the heyday of the hippie days. So, he just took it for what it was.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think he was very driven.
A lot of people really did not know him. If you would have went in his library and his books.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the wonderful library. And the books he got were outstanding. He was able to select some of the best tomes, and he was very so I think a lot of what he was doing was the objectivism of Ayn Rand, but the fun part was, of course, Ragnar Redbeard, Might is Right, which is, and that's the thing about Anton. In the 50s, probably late 50s, living in San Francisco, like me, he liked used bookshops, antiquarian bookshops, and he found this book in one, and it was Might is Right by Ragnar Redbeard, long out of print.
Me that one.
Yeah, and he took it home, sat there, and thought, well, it looks quite wild. And then when he started reading it, it was, oh my God above, this is beyond belief. And it is, even now. Might is Right is shocking. It's incredible. The prose is poetic. It's the most incredible book. And yes, there's certain things, anachronisms, because it was written in the 1890s originally. So yeah, you might find offensive stuff in there here and there. But I mean, you'll find that in anything, you know. I mean, the point is, it's great, in my opinion, a great work of literature. And he discovered it. And the thing is, what people, I mean, people obviously know this, the Church of Satan people, that, but some won't, is that when Anton, publisher says, we got this Church of Satan, we need a satanic Bible. And he thought, bloody hell, better write one then. And so what he did, what Anton did was plagiarize Might is Right quite a bit.
He did.
It's okay, because it's just lovely. You know, to me, when it was way out of print, it wasn't illegal to do that, but it was like wonderful what he did. You know, I absolutely, think, and don't blame me. He got a deadline. He wasn't a writer, so what the hell was he going to do? He was a good writer. You know, when he wrote other books, they were really well done, like Satan Speaks, The Devil's Notebook. They're really good. They're books of essays, like the great essayists of old. And so I see Anton LaVey not just as a philosopher, but like a William Hazlitt, a great essayist. So yeah. But anyway, that's we're off at some kind of tangent there. But have we got any unusual facts? Have we got any unusual facts that we might like to unleash?
Oh, I forgot about the unusual facts. I didn't write them down. Do you have any?
Well, as you didn't write them down, I can't really remember. All I can remember is finding one, which I thought was quite funny, was that the first vacuum cleaners, I don't know how many people are fans of vacuum cleaners. I suppose it'd be something weird about you if you were, but I'm sure people collect old ones. But if you want to look at the early vacuum cleaners, I'm sure it must have been richer people. They had a horse. And the machine was in the house, and the horse had to move about and walk around a bit to get some sort of generator going to make it happen. And they're probably better than the vacuum cleaners today, and it pulled all the muck out, threw it out the window.
Okay, now have you ever been around horses?
Yeah, but it wasn't in the house, it was outside.
Oh.
And there's a road. You didn't take the bloody horse in there, because it's going to be...
well, I was wondering.
Well, you're going to be mucking out your house, aren't you? Yeah, you're mucking out your house. But so they got some sort of rope, and so some sort of machine and that. And there was always crowds there, because they wanted to get all the dirt up and all the dirt coming out the window and saying, look how dirty your house was. So that's how vacuum cleaners began. Yeah, so that's a kind of weird fact, which I jumped from memory. I thought that was quite good. I mean, probably really good, but it probably sucked your whole carpet up.
Oh, hell, I could look up another weird fact. So I think you did send it to me. Hold on.
Yeah, well, that was just a good one, Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, vacuum
Let me
cleaners,
see, what was another one?
Yeah.
A New Orleans hotel offered $15,000 to stay. Hold it. No. Let me reread that. Yeah, a New Orleans hotel. A New Orleans hotel offered a $15,000 stay to whoever stole the most outrageous item from them. Lobby of Roosevelt Hotel in New Orleans. Image via the Roosevelt New Orleans. A Waldorf Astoria Hotel in March 2019. The Roosevelt Hotel in New Orleans decided to celebrate 125th anniversary by offering a free 7-night stay in the presidential suite, along with complimentary private dinner, spa treatments worth a whopping $15,000. But this wasn't a standard giveaway. The prize was only available to the person who returned the most outrageous items stolen from the hotel. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought that was quite good. Yeah, that you steal from us, and then
and we'll give you money for it. I wouldn't do it. I ran hotels. You think I got to do that? No, your butt's going to jail, and you're giving me my money.
Well, that's right. Well, it was a publicity. Seriously? It was a publicity stunt, wasn't it? It would have gotten nice publicity. It was a clever thinking, really. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was interesting.
I've
Yeah,
been to the Waldorf.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I've been to the Waldorf.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of in London and all that, and those sort of places. Yeah. I mean, really, really nice. Yeah. I mean, just absolutely plush, incredible. Like the height of luxury, and it's really good. But yeah, I just thought it was quite good. It's putting. I suppose it's. I mean, it was obviously a publicity stunt, but then, it's like getting hackers to see if you can hack into our system. And so. And obviously they get a reward, don't they? Which would be a damn good job at high pay, But that was obviously a publicity stunt. Yeah. Well, you got to get your Linux running first, and we're still awaiting that.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. Be aware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance.
Yeah, so this is like our closing words.
Words of wisdom. No, that's just one of them.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a sly little dig, actually, to what we were talking about previously. Yeah, false knowledge. Be aware of false knowledge. Yeah.
Did you understand? Be aware of false knowledge.
Yeah.
It is more dangerous than ignorance.
Exactly. And that's possibly, I fully agree with that. And, I'm very much with the Rockefeller Foundation. Jolly excellent organization that has brought nothing but good to the world. And I defy anyone out there to say otherwise. And one of the things they've been, obviously, some of the most dangerous false wisdom that they've been working against since really the 1930s, when they got highly involved in the American Medical Association, all of that. They said, well, we've got to get rid of this false thinking about herbalism and homeopathy and things like that.
I know you're not.
I am. I am. Yeah. Yeah, I told you wouldn't get away with it.
I will get you back on the next show.
Yeah, let me just say to anyone listening and that I was, when I said I was fully support the Rockefeller Foundation, I was being somewhat sarcastic mostly.
He was being sarcastic and trying to get at me.
Yeah. Well, it's touche. Come on.
I will
it's
get
touche.
You.
Yeah,
I will get you.
You admit defeat, touche.
No, I'm not admitting defeat. I am only saying I am plotting.
Yeah. Well, yes, but you didn't expect that one, though, did you? Until I started saying how excellent the Rockefeller Foundation is.